Eggs are at the center of an intense debate, and I don't mean sunny side up versus over easy. For years, scientists have been arguing about whether their high cholesterol content is bad for our health. Cholesterol is a fatty substance that our bodies use to build cells, but too much cholesterol can clog our blood vessels, restricting blood flow and increasing heart disease risk. In fact, a 2019 study of 30,000 adults found that for each half an egg eaten per day, risk of heart disease increased by 6%, while risk of an early death rose by 8%. On balance, eggs are a great source of protein and vitamins, and do have a whole host of health benefits, so cutting them out entirely may not be wise. Research has linked phosphatidylcholine, a nutrient found in eggs, with a reduced risk of Alzheimer's. The week can be part of a healthy diet. And just remember to cook them thoroughly, as raw eggs can carry. It's safest to prepare eggs that are firm all the way through. Your foodie friends might roll their eyes, but food safety is no. Cues sold as raw in shops have actually been roasted or steamed, removing dangerous toxins. Truly raw cashews look like this. They're the seed of a sweet, sour fruit called the cashew apple. While the fruits are edible, the shells containing the cashew nuts contain urushiol, a substance also found in poison ivy. This can cause rashes or burns if it touches the skin, and is toxic when ingested. Depending on your sensitivity to poison ivy, even a handful of raw, deshelled cashew nuts could be enough to kill you, as the urushiol can leak through the shell into the nuts. So unless you cook them first to remove the urushiol, you'd have to be nuts to eat a handful of raw cashews. Sushi. If I told you your sushi might come with a side order of parasitic worms, would you still eat of the naturally occurring radioactive element, radium, which is absorbed by the tree roots and fed into the nuts? As a result, Brazil nuts can be a whopping 1,000 times more radioactive than other foods in your kitchen, though this is usually still not enough to be concerned about. And that said, you might
find out lava isn't the fastest, but even then, they completely negate the baby's speed, which gives us a much-needed way out of Dodge, and one that I'm happy to take at whatever pace they're willing to give me. Easter eggs are almost a rite of passage when you're developing a game, but after they're in, you have to wonder how many players will discover them, if at all. Take the Desert Temple, for example. While most of us are focused on the treasure and TNT that lies underneath, there's actually more than meets the eye to the top. You see, this big hollowed-out spot in the roof is actually the perfect size for a fully powered beacon setup. Still don't believe me? Well, lay out the blocks as you would anywhere else, and you'll actually be left with a permanently lit fire frame. Now, it doesn't give off any real light, but I guess it's a new torch design? If that's what you've been looking for, I don't know. Phantoms are one of the worst pains in the game, and somehow these monsters are always going to find new ways to be a thorn in your side. Case in point, if you ever thought that dealing with even though these felines don't suffer any fall damage when they drop, they still try to avoid the fall just the same, which I think is fair. I mean, I don't take any fall damage using a water bucket, but that doesn't exactly mean I want to do it all the time. And I think if cats were coded to fall whenever they want, we'd have some plenty weird sights. And I, for one, don't want the ravine next to a village turning into a litter box. Every now and then, it seems Mojang has fun coding in certain loot tables. And while some of those are dark, such as the turtles turning into bowls of lightning, others like this are just clever. As we know, if you kill a zombie, it's a rare chance of dropping a potato, which is handy, but you might want to be careful to not use a fire aspect sword here, because if you do and a potato drops, it'll be baked instead, and that'll delay your farming dreams. So while it does offer a better snack, it might not be best for your long-term return. Torches are the most obvious way to light up a build. They're cheap, you can craft a bunch of them, and they also happen to work pretty well. So most of us don't tend to look for replacements that often. But if you were to take the time and scan through all of Minecraft's various blocks, there's actually a surprising competitor. For some reason, 4C Fiction was highly inspired by the 2018 shows of Gucci and the like. And considering that, I'd say a book beret fits right in. And hey, it probably means the villagers have good posture, for what that's worth. What do you think of when you see a wandering trader? Well, if you're anything like me, you see this as a free source of leads and leather. But that's only part of the story, since when we take the llamas away from their trader companion, we can actually breed them for some special results. No joke, all it takes is breeding the special llamas, and you get an offspring with their same unique design, which is a pretty cool souvenir to have. So while it might still be more valuable to pocket the leads, this could be a way to dress up your next caravan, if that's something you're interested in. Now, I've seen plenty of people build their bases across the overworld and the nether, but a distinct lack of them in the end dimension, which makes some sense considering neither beds nor respawn anchors let us respawn in the house. But as you can see, if you place a bed like so underneath the overworld's end portal and then set our spawn, we can set ourselves up to only spawn in the last dimension. And at that point, you might get a proper selection of cushions for your sofa. While the methods might be questionable, it's hard to deny the results. And with the help of commands, we can keep these llama helpers invisible long enough for the guests to arrive. So if you're tired of squatting on yet another stair, this might be the best solution. Most people build their elevators the old-fashioned way, and the original water elevator is about as classic as they come. But if you've got a few hundred bottles of honey lying around, you might want to keep this trick in mind. Some are bound to be overlooked, and this is just that. As you'll notice, if you check your inventory while you're in spectator mode, you'll recognize that the barrier texture used is that of the old one. And while it's definitely not game-breaking, it is a fun thing to notice. Thinking of the right name for a pet can be tough work, so if you're really strapped for options, this might be a good fallback. All we'll need is a bit of ingenuity, complete lack of remorse. See, if we were to take one of the name tags that we got from exploring and put it into an anvil, then all we gotta do is go into our settings, change our native language, and then rewrite the name of the name tag as, well, name tag. And then once we change our language back, you notice that we're finally able to name a name tag, and use it as a name tag for our new animal. So if you want to circumvent this one Mojang rule, I guess this is the way to do it. Though I might add, your pet might hate you for it. Have you ever trapdoor? We can create this all-seeing eye illusion. By placing a trapdoor in front of a dropper, we get this greedy black pupil that follows you around. And if you want different colors, then place a fence behind it and do some new eye colors as well. Just make sure you don't use the sea lantern. Striders don't like to be cold, and that raises an unfortunate problem for us. Since if we want them to be happy, we need to incorporate some kind of fire hazard into our builds, and that's not ideal, to say the least. But go figure, moss carpet is the proper solution, since this carpet doesn't serve you. Minecraft famously has its share of visual quirks, and while we've talked at length about those in the past, this one just cracks me up. See, if we were to hold a ladder as an item in our hands, it has about the same amount of depth as anything else. But when you place that same ladder on the side of a block, it turns paper thin. I mean, this ladder has less depth than a ladder item dropped on the floor, and unless we get something like default 3D in the base game, I guess it'll be a fun thing to notice going forward. If you want to play Minecraft survival without the added challenge of, well, surviving, then peaceful mode is an obvious choice. Or, so you thought. You see, even though this mode claims to remove all dangerous mobs, one spy seems to have slipped through the cracks. While playing on peaceful mode, the llama is the only mob capable of harming the player. I mean, I know spit is gross, but is it really that bad to be the only damaging thing in the mode? Well, luckily, these animals only attack when they're provoked. So in the meantime, maybe just stick to the truly passive cows for your leather, alright? To put it lightly, beds in the nether do not get along. Although, I don't think the villagers got that memo. Sure enough,
This is the transition, but no. Huh? Wait, what? Whoa.
No joke. This lets us go to speed of 2.3 blocks per second. As the project pointed out, that we get from standard walking. I mean, it's still not fast, but it's a lot better than what we had before. Apparently, it's possible to like a tight chance books, which is a weird
Alright.
by putting 2,000 enchanted curse in grindstone, it allows you to stack them instead. And this is because you can't have curses with grindstone, so it glitched out the output. And then you can click out the end result, and I put them all back here in the store. Since the 1.16 update, another a lot more dangerous to traverse. But when we do have new hostile mobs in the way of piglins and hoglins, there's a glitch that might help ease the pain. Now, to pull this off, hold up your shield the second you go through a coaster. Then, after the dimension loads in, you'll find yourself on the other side, virtually unchanged. However, the game keeps your shield held up while you're like this. You can fight mobs like so, plus 9 hoppers simultaneously. Now, the glitch doesn't allow you to replace blocks for doing this, but the other payoffs are pretty worthwhile. Last part has a surprising amount of flying mobs. We're all familiar with blazes, spasms, and bats on that list, but there are 10 unlikely candidates that also fit. Even though a Strider doesn't seem much variation by itself, it doesn't actually be persuading to block sticks. With help like the old Roger scroll wheel, all it takes to keep this glitch is switching on and off like item erratically. While passing bats just like that, apparently they're pretty honorable in staring out at your Strider. The next day, the same human in the eyes, carrying on the Tear it back out. Love to see what rides a horse. The longest time, take that extra texture. But thanks to Little Dominic, 60-year-old on Reddit, also got me actually show their saddles, which all admits are the lesser of two evils. So while sweet curries might be a pain while you're walking around, it turns out they're valuable when it comes to falling. You see, the way that Minecraft calculates fall damage, there are certain things that can reset your fall distance in air. And as it happens to be, very much damage is one of them. Getting hurt by one of these, even if you fall from the sky limit, is enough to take away all the fall damage and keep you safe. And if you really don't want to take any chances, it works with baby bushes, which point but creep you on your way down, which I'd definitely call a sweet view. Snowballs make for great friends, they are the best protectors, and really, unless they're attacking blazes, these snowballs will not get through much. Though it takes the blocks with the nether, you can effectively turn them around. See, better off the shore. These snowballs just look at them. Really different. They're not very fast. No, they all change the help of the strangely enough, each type of axle like so, will start to move around at breakneck speeds. And this works both on land or in the ocean domain. So if you're looking to get your pet some exercise outside of the bucket, it seems like a decent workout. Though just keep in mind, it's tough to take it off the leash once it's on. Now, the laws of gravity don't exactly apply in Minecraft. I mean, clearly. But what's stranger than that is when Minecraft isn't even consistent on its own terms. For instance, gravel falls when there's nothing beneath it. And similarly, a lantern can only be placed with something solid above or below it. So, then why does this work? Sure, the gravel is supported by the lantern is supported by the gravel just the same. And if you break either one, the whole thing falls apart. Giving us all perhaps the most literal definition of a symbiotic relationship. You see, in Java, we see a gold nugget as just that. Something that you can use to craft a gold ingot, but that's about it. But in Bedrock, it's fuel, for some reason. When I first heard of this, I thought, there's just no way. But yeah, if you try it, it does in fact burn. But it's not even a good fuel source. You need about 12 of them just to smelt up one item. But if you're looking to burn some cash, I guess this does the trick. Say you're trying to light up around your base, you want something more than just a couple of torches, fine, but it seems that some of these coded interactions should just go unseen by the public. And this is no different. See, I wouldn't blame you if you never noticed that polar bears can attack foxes, because you're probably not bringing many foxes over there anyway. But sure enough, add one to the vicinity, and the polar bear will start to attack. And speaking of someone who's lost mobs to foxes in the past, I'm completely on board with that. If you've watched any TV show or movie with a police scene, you're probably familiar with the idea of one-way glass. And to my surprise, we can make that in Minecraft as well. If we were to make a room of glass and then fill every single wall with invisible item frames and map art, then a perpetrator standing inside can only see the map art. However, when we stand outside, we can see him just fine. And let me reiterate, this has to be done with invisible item frames. Otherwise, we just see that leather texture out the back. Since Minecraft has so many items, you can see a texture 100 times without taking the time to study the details. And I think the iron door fits that category. Now, from this zoomed out view, it looks the same as any door that we put in our hotbar. But take a closer look at the item itself, and you'll notice that the door doesn't have a handle in its sprite, which honestly seems like a clever detail. After all, we can't open the door without a redstone signal, so it makes sense there's no player accessible handle on the thing. And it's amazing to me how just 2 little extra pixels can really show how much care went into the design. If we place a set of white glazed terracotta like so, the patterns merge to create something of a penguin head along the bottom. And whether you think this looks more like Club Penguin or Touch of Linux, I think it's a funny detail nonetheless. But it'll definitely be hard to unsee, so might as well add some half slabs and make it a penguin peekaboo in your next build. If you drop the warden from build height to bedrock, it would still live. But if you have a 319 block drop in the dripstone spikes,
Alrighty, almost done. We just have, like, I'm pretty sure there's 2 more worlds for this one, and then 3 for the final level, including Lost City, Jurassic Marsh, and, god dang it. Okay, finally got the far future boss thing. What's in this thing called again? Like,
And if we happen to tuck a target block behind that very wall, then this becomes our brand new button. And quite the spectacle, too. To be honest, few things are more satisfying than landing a shot with a gas fireball, and intercepting the shot with an arrow of your own is cool as well. But if we were to look at the mechanics at play, there's more going on than just a cool moment. See, the way that it's coded is so that the fireball, when shot with an arrow, will move the direction the player's head. So shoot a fireball and then look up, that fireball's going to the sky. Or if you're looking for a real challenge, you can aim your head below and you'll shoot a fireball right towards that subscribe button for new notifications on future videos. And thank you, by the way. And while this is likely to save time with the coding process, it's barely noticeable most of the time. Because after all, if you can land that shot,
okay guys, I was recording. It's just one of my biggest fears of putting in so much dang work just for it to not be recording. If I remember correctly, there should be one more thing for this, but this thing just wants to keep on sending me to Dark Ages instead of the other things. I'm gonna pause the recording just in case. Okay. Alright, I don't know if the audio is working. It may be working or it may not be working, but either way, I cannot get the fourth thing for the first two things. I think the fourth fight is on the third thing, unless I seriously just selected the second thing and it worked. Okay, you can beat this level without using any plants. Evidence.
If you want a fence alternative, this might just fit the bill for your future pets. You ever wonder what it's
Have you
like
ever
to be a
heard
mom?
of
I mean,
Power
there's
Up?
so many different shape-shifting and morph mods out there that I'm sure you've thought of it once or twice. And while those third-party options will give you one interpretation, there's actually a way to do this in game. While in spectator mode, if you interact with the mob, you can actually see from their point of view, and some of which even offer up different filters and effects. So whether you want a creeper's green vision, a spider's reflective eyes, or
It's
maybe even
pretty
just a
easy.
shoulder shell, then by all means,
So I'd be pretty surprised if this is the video that gets me popular on YouTube. Oh, right, yeah. Oops. I was trying to press the pause button. I played too much Minecraft and Terraria for my own good. I have a feeling this is gonna repeat. Nope. That's a surprise.
And normally we're left cleaning up that overflow. And while that's true, it's apparently not a universal fact, since this chicken right here is incapable of laying any eggs across its lifetime. And what makes this one so special?
This is probably the easiest of the things. Stupid lag. I am using an ancient Samsung device. We can use them to create some new illusions in the other dimensions. And for another illusion, simply take some of the new Skulk vein, overlay it on the diamond block, and bam, you've got yourself the blue version of the magma block. Truth be told, villagers do not seem like the smartest mobs, and more often than not, I'm racking my brain trying to figure out their logic. But occasionally, they have their moments. For a case, yeah, it's still recording. This is one of my longer videos that aren't a live stream. Well, I'm pretty sure it's my only video longer than 10 minutes. That's not a live stream or a recording of a live stream or just a recording of me gameplay. Yeah, no, that's not what the word is. My God. It's close to late, but I'm bored. And I'm having a bit of trouble sleeping like I usually do in the summer. At least it's summer where I am. I don't know what it's like in other time zones. I've only been in one time zone. I don't remember the name. And if I did say it, I'd probably, some weirdo would just probably try and find my location. Probably would just be the same guy who disliked every single one of my videos. My God, I'm not editing this. I'm just using screen recorder, obviously. This is the best thing I have, even if you have to manually put it in higher quality for some reason. I don't know if that has something to do with the recorder or something else. There was this in Jurassic Marsh. I think
dripstone for the clay blocks. After that, we break the clay blocks for the clay balls, and then we
Yeah,
break those for
that
the
was
stone
this one.
mason, finally getting us our emeralds. So it is quite the process, but being able to
How
literally
about
go
for
from dirt to
people
dollars
who
is worth it in my eyes.
actually
Not breaking any blocks will help
have
you get
their
out of this
devices
hole,
loud
but so
enough
is
to
the
hear
seals. The
me?
door is actually the solution, and maybe the best one, since if you place down a door and then flip it
Here's an
back and
old
forth,
pvz
you'll be able to
fact.
hop up the steps of the
If you
door and fill up 2
used,
blocks at a time, which can be
my god,
exceptionally useful for helping you get out of a hole or an animal pen.
I'm just
And that way,
holding
any of
one
the other mobs
controller
that are
by the
trapped in there
handle
with
thing,
you, they won't be able to hop up the blocks by crawling
and
out to
I meant
escape.
not
If you've ever
controller,
gotten rid of a
phone.
wandering trader, then you know
One
that lobs
part
can
of
be
the phone
impressive
with the
bunch.
handle
Sure, it's to be
thing,
expected. They're neutral mobs,
another
but
thing.
somehow getting spat on just adds insult to
I just
injury.
feel like
So
I
if you
got
too are
dumped
tired of getting
by a
saliva sprayed
truck.
by these bullies, there's actually a way to turn the tables.
It's pretty
You see, a
weird.
shield is decent for blocking, but we can actually go one step further and even deflect
Obviously,
the
since I'm
spin.
not
No
old
joke,
enough, I
with a
don't
weapon and the
drink.
proper timing, it's actually possible to
So,
hit the spin back at your
unlike what
foe.
some
And now I
random
just wish
people
that it
say
would
on
give
the
you the
internet,
return to sender
not
achievement
every
as
time
well.
somebody
That'd
feels
be amazing. Now, on this show,
terrible
we've learned
means
plenty
they're
about the different
drunk
quirks and
or have
idiosyncrasies that
depression.
you can find in Bedrock.
I
And with the
probably
1.17
do
update,
have
give us a slew of new
depression.
ones. See such, take a
Maybe.
look at this axolotl here. Now, if we were to tie
I
up
don't
the
know.
illegal lead
I
in the
try to
beginning of
act
the
my
flower
happiest
market
in
and
YouTube
replace it back
videos.
down, it'll still have that leash attached.
Though it
And the
gets
reason
very
being is that in
hard.
Bedrock, all of the NBT data
Especially
is saved in
considering the fact that in a
non-volatile
few
containers. So
years,
if you need another
just
inventory
my
slot, this is
trash
one way to
content
protect the
is
lead.
gonna get
While maybe just
over
something the gradient
in
blocks in the
by
Minecraft world.
some
Because no
like
matter the enchantments and
AI
potions for getting
guy.
the hearts that you got, it's
Some
not the
some
rare for all of them.
AI
But you ever
somebody
wonder
else
how high that
made.
could be? Well, as it turns out, if you were to mix
Uh,
together a full set of protection
Maybe I
for
should
and
start a
feather falling for netherite
podcast
armor, a turtle master potion with
or just
resistance 4,
start
enchanting bow
talking
down,
on a
and then laying on a pattern
topic, and I
handles,
will
that'll
not
let you
stop
survive all
talking. And sometimes I'll make up
4,504
random
and have a
facts
heart,
that
but
don't
really, just
exist,
use a water bucket. When you start level
or like just
319, you might collect
combinations of
multi-powered
facts I
stem
have
pack. Why
heard.
is that? Well, with this powdered stone,
Where is it? Why isn't it loading the Jurassic Marsh one?
the biggest size
It's
is
hard
our
to
stature.
deal
And
with
once the
the
small mirror
3
frog
world
eats them, we can
stuff
get ourselves a handy little rock block,
because the
especially if we build this
fact
here magma cube
that they
spawner in the
haven't
pasture.
updated
Or we
it
can throw it in a
since
mountain and delete the
the
notes instead.
newest
As you'll see, back when I
world
made
selection
snapshots for Bedrock,
thing,
there was a glitch that let frogs
wherever
eat
they
any ghost
changed
that
the
got nearby.
order,
So even if they can't eat fireflies, at least the ghosts won't
almost
poison us. And perhaps
pretty
unfortunately,
much.
this was probably
This
patched
video is
out
so
because it
long
works
just
just so
because I
well
have
with the
to
prototype
keep
code.
on
We don't have an ender
going back
chest
and
for
forth
hiding your
just trying to
valuables,
get
a tricky
at the
business.
certain
And while we've
thing.
talked plenty about the creative ways to stash your loot, this might just be a new favorite.
Maybe I've
Playing
already
in Bedrock
gone
Edition, you
through
push a block into a
Jurassic
chest
Marsh,
minecart,
or
then, even though it's still there,
15%.
you can't see the
That
entity.
doesn't
And it
matter.
works best
Whenever I
markers,
get
you can open it up just the same. Just
Jurassic
make sure the
Marsh, I'll
crosshair
put my
lines up
phone
like
on the
so, where you can't
charger,
see the outline of the block, and then you'll be safe to tuck some
combine
into the
both
space. More safe than sound.
the
Hey,
first
as an added bonus,
part of
Isaac
this
will show us some in
video
action with this.
and this
Grab one of
part
those
of the
ladders make a
video.
great pair. And
The
because of
first
that, you
part
may
was
notice the
just the
support you
main
put into your block. You see,
bosses,
by having a
and then
trapdoor
the
like such, you can actually climb up to the
boss
top just as
thing.
you would a standard ladder. But that said, it even works if you put the trapdoors and ladders in a pattern like this. And once you see how we can climb one of these, it's a lot
Why am I
easier to
having
see
so much trouble
Trust me,
getting
it's only good for a party
in
trick.
the
Trapdoors
Jurassic
are much more
Marsh
expensive than ladders, so
zomboss?
much better placing your planks in the old
I know
cave.
for a
Besides,
fact,
it even looks better too.
because I recorded the
Even
video
after
the other
playing
day.
Minecraft for 9 years, I'm still
Well,
constantly
by the
running
other
into
day, I
things
mean
again.
like
For example, I played Bedwars and
about
Hyades
like a
for
month and a half ago, maybe.
meaning I've shared countless pieces of armor, weapons, etc., any item you can think of. And
I
somehow,
did the
all
boss
that
fight.
time, I never realized
For
that
those
you
having
could
trouble,
use the key to throw out a steady stream of items. No, I would never
and
do that. I would always just end up throwing it out of the
some
inventory
what
screen
would
or mashing
probably
the
be
key button
the
instead. And really, I don't
level
know if
they
it's
have
all
the stuff.
practical, but now I know it's there. Maybe you do too. Traveling across the different Minecraft biomes is a lot of fun. But while you're doing
I
all
don't
that exploring,
think
just
I
notice the
ever
small details you pass by. And if you take the time to stop
I
and
don't
smell the
think
roses,
I
you might realize this
re-enabled
cool
the
fact
audio
about the
thing,
Bioforce biome.
or I just re-enabled it.
In the area, a grueling task, I know, you'd start to see a flower gradient like so. Since the game only generates one type of flower per each block in the space, you get some cool sights to see. So while you'll likely never
Okay,
see this
finally.
parrot again, I guess you and the forest now share a
God.
little secret. Finding Minecraft details can be a tricky process, and sometimes the real secrets don't come from the game
Oh
itself.
wait,
For
I
instance,
keep on
take the iron
forgetting.
golem. Now, in-game,
I've been playing a lot of
others think
Flourish
it's much
recently.
people. But no, all it takes is one look at the official 2019 Valentine's Day post from Mojang's Instagram to see that the red part is actually the golem sclera. So does that
I'm
mean
not
this is canon?
used
Well, I guess I
to
don't know. After all, there was a famous Bluestone
that.
incident from the Village of Pillage trailer, so maybe promotional art is
I
still
don't think I I can use that Sun game.
Versus the artist rendition, I pick the official every time. Deacon's basically define the later stages of the game in Minecraft. But with these good forward haste, jump boost, and speed,
I don't ever remember these names of the plants because I never had memories unlocking these guys. Pretty much anything after or like far future I've never experienced, so I'm not good with. Well, that's the end of the video. Where's the thing?
Nobody likes being on the receiving end of knockback, but while it's a pain to be tossed around, this might make it necessary. See, in Bedrock, it's possible.
Okay, there it is. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but thanks for watching the video. So I can subscribe for more content like this. I'm thinking about just doing a whole entire game like this. Just, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm thinking about starting one of those podcast things. Maybe, probably not.